So I've just arrived in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, not sure if it's the right choice, to be honest with you. Like, picking a spot on the map. I was speaking to someone from Greensboro, which is like the next town along, or just before this, and they were like, "Oh, you should come here because it's much more fun." And I think they were right. I'm next to some sort of train track and a bus station, and I don't know where these go. I need to get something to eat. I feel awful. 10 hours on a bus. Oh, nightmare. Massive shout out to everyone that's got me Starbucks. I'll do a proper shout out to all you individuals when I get to a Starbucks. The nearest one's a few miles away, so it will be a little while before I get to grab a Starbucks, I think. But thank you ever so much to everyone that has, because it's great. I'm able to just fill up my bag with a few bits of sandwiches and cakes and coffee and things, and it's fantastic. Managed to get the train into the centre of Charlotte, what I think is perhaps the centre of Charlotte. I've got no idea. It's just where there's lots of tall buildings. I went in that direction pretty much. But yeah, pretty cool. Time to go get some breakfast and a coffee and a water refill and a place I can wash my face, brush my teeth, shower. Better be nice. Hotel, spa. Maybe just the breakfast for now, I think. So 3 hours worth of bloody admin done. That took longer than expected, having to do some work on the website, message people to try and sort out some stuff for when I move on, a bit of social for the campaign, and also trying to find places that might be open that I can go and speak to them about mental illness and mental health awareness and stuff. That is proving really difficult. There's a lot of organisations out there, but they're just not open or answering the damn phone. So I'm doing the old turn up on the door method and see if that works. Alright, let's see how this goes down.
Oh, she was delayed.
England.
Okay.
I'm on a bit of a mission. I'm travelling across America.
Okay.
Trying to find organisations that help people and raise awareness of mental health.
Right.
That's us.
That's us.
He's about to do a mental health group.
Fantastic. Anyone else want to
Kind of sit in.
Yeah, you can sit in.
that'd
Yeah.
be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Whatever your situation is, there is a solution. So, just like in that video, I can feel what he was saying. You can't give up. You can't stop. You got to keep pushing. You know, I'm here, you know, for one reason and one reason only, and that's to help you. To help me. Because we're growing together. You know, and you cannot, I don't care what anybody says, you can't do it on your own. The struggle is that it's hard to cross that bridge. It's hard to even admit that you have some kind of mental health issues. And and that's what causes the breakdown, you know, on the social scale.
Do you think depression and mental health and different things like schizophrenia, anxiety and bipolar is increasing, or do you think people are just being a little bit more open and aware to it?
Well, and that's the thing. See, people are being a lot more open now.
Yeah.
You know, it's being addressed. You know.
Because there wasn't organisations like this 10, 20 years ago.
Oh no.
Guys to perhaps tackling people's own personal problems and sort of depression being one of them or something along those lines. What would you say is probably one of the best sort of steps to get out of that rut, to get out of that sort of repetitive cycle and things like that? Because you can medicate and you can take stuff to try and balance you out and try and settle your thoughts, but with this particular organization running
it's about therapy. It's about therapy. It's about therapy and it's about exercise.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that we do is we link resources. So it's not about just, piping you with medication.
Yeah.
That doesn't solve anything. All that does is medicate you.
Yeah.
Is it going to help you get a job? Is it going to help you, live on your own? See, these are all the things that what we do is try to get you from your lowest point to your moderate point.
Yeah.
Not even your highest, because that's something that you got to do on your own. But the most important thing is that you can't jump over the steps.
No.
You got to take each step at a time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to end up in the same place.
Do you think there needs to be more kindness out there to help inspire people? Do you think people have gotten perhaps a little bit too self-centered or ignorant of that? Do you think there's a lack of kindness?
Yeah, most definitely. But the depression is a stigma. That's a negative word. It's not a negative. It's not negative. It's a condition. It's something that you're going through. If you look at it negative, then you're going to get negative results. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at it like this is something I'm going through, and I need to figure out a way to get past it. If I can't figure it out on my own, then I need somebody to help me. 25% of America, experiences depression. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, it's becoming more accepted because that's what it is. You have people that are in power, business owners, that are experiencing it.
Yeah.
So now that they're experiencing it, it's like they can identify now, with the person that works for them is experiencing it. It's just kind of like it just kind of grows into, it's a culture.
Yeah.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Just like you said, the big guy doesn't belong in the gym. Why doesn't he? If you're trying to, because the guy with the six pack and all that, he wasn't born like that.
Yeah.
He had to work at it too. I have a friend that suffers from anxiety and depression, and that's how he doesn't take medication. He works out.
Yeah.
So he's become an amateur bodybuilder just through his exercise regimen, because he struggles with anxiety and depression. And that's his method, of medication, is that iron.
And it's working for him?
Yes, and it works for him. I feel like if you're going through any type of mental challenge, you have to find a way to exercise, whether it be physical or whether it be mental. But if you find a way to exercise and focus, you can overcome some situations, of course, unless there's a severity to the illness, and then you have no other alternative but to seek out psychiatric help, medication, things like that.
But there is a possibility of that natural.
Yes.
Good mindset. Good.
Yes, I believe that. I believe that. And again, it has a lot to do with changing your environment.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that.
How can people get in contact with yourself?
Oh yeah, so you can reach me at Genesis Project 1, which is off of Sugar Creek here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Or you can come here to Running Works, which is 901 North Tryon, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the doors are open.
So today, fantastic. I think I've sorted out a location to stay tonight as well. They're offering to come and pick me up now, but I was just in the middle of something. And what I was in the middle of was absolutely brilliant. So I turned up at that place, and it's called Running Works. I'll get to that a little bit later. but they were just literally about to have a group session, and they were kind enough to let me sit in and join them. And the gentleman leading the session, Earl, was more than kind enough to give me 20 minutes of his time at the end, if not more, to answer a few questions and just have a real discussion. It's not only on mental health, but just awareness of struggle in general, and that's one of the best things about it. And that's something I'm really starting to learn being out here. It isn't just about mental health, it's about struggle for all sorts of reasons and all sorts of individuals as well. I was just blown away. I could have talked to him all day. Great guy, really inspiring. I'm getting more and more motivated to try and help people, you know. It's good, it feels good. Trying to get somewhere?
No, I'm just trying to give me something a little bit to eat today.
Yeah. Might be able to help you out then. I might have a couple of bucks in here.
I'm just trying to get something to eat because I missed the film.
Yeah, man, there's some change there.
God bless you, my friend. Say hallelujah to you, too.
All the best, man. If I didn't have this bag with me, I'd be able to get places so much quicker. It just takes so damn long with this bag. So I've just been finishing up the evening. I was in the Starbucks I was in earlier. I've been in there for the last few hours because it's got decent Wi-Fi and plenty of plug sockets. And this member of staff, young lad, very young lad, and he's left home, we went to college, he's here, he's working 2 jobs, he's an amateur ballet dancer, and he suffers from depression. And it just goes to show he's really making a life for himself. He's applying himself the best way he knows how. He's chasing his dream, and he's still suffering with depression, but he has that kindness where he's happy to do things for these individuals that need it a little bit more. I was just talking to him as he was packing down the coffee house, and yeah, such a genial individual. So young as well, and it's such a great thing to see. I was also chatting to another guy. He was sat there next to me, and he was having a conversation about how he's struggling to get work. He's homeless as well. This guy must have been mid-20s or something like that. Really, really well-spoken guy, articulate, intelligent, but just so happens that he's on the streets. What's your name, man?
My name is Isaiah McFadden.
And I met you in the Starbucks.
Right.
And tell me a little bit about your life, man, your struggles.
Well, basically, I come from a little small town. It's called Lawrenceburg, North Carolina. I've probably been in Charlotte this time, maybe probably just a couple of weeks. Basically came up here to try to better myself, you know. But right now, you know, it's a struggle. It's hard right now. But I'm always keep my faith. And I'm gonna keep my head up, and I'm gonna keep a smile on my face. I'm gonna keep trying every day because I know I'm not gonna stay out here. I'm not gonna be out here for long.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm actually Dana. You got the other one.
Hi Dana.
Okay.
Let me put this in the back.
I mean, it changed my life.
This is changing my life every day. This is
Exactly. So I'm so proud of you for doing that.
Thank you.
That's amazing. I mean, because a lot of people would live in the fear of what if, or I'll do it later kind of thing. So
I spent so many years of my 20s not jumping at things, which is ridiculous because those are the perfect years where you're supposed to be making mistakes and doing those sort of things.
And I spent my 20s, so I can relate to depression, in depression. I got out of the military. I was in the U.S. military. I got out of the military, and I was depressed for probably a good 5 years. So I know what that feels like. I'm so glad it's behind me. I haven't experienced it like that since. There's touches of it every once in a while, because no one's immune to that. We live on an old, like this land is an old, like slaves were given this land when they were emancipated.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, and so our living room, when you go into our living room where this these lights are right here, is an old slave cabin. It was built in the 1830s.
Wow.
And we're in the process of trying to find out who lived there, but all the wood, like the wood you see around there, is original from those years. And so it's a very, very special space. And we have lots of kayaks because we're kayakers. Atlanta's about 4 hours from here.
Okay,
south.
that's not too bad.
Atlanta is the biggest city in the southern part of the United States, by far.
That's good.
I mean, the southeast.
Yeah.
So Atlanta's 4, so that would put New Orleans at, 5 from Atlanta. 6, which is not bad either, I mean, so the choice is either stop short or stop long.
Yeah.
And if you go to Jackson, you've overshot New Orleans.
This is the thing.
Which is-
New Orleans is
You have to go to New Orleans.
yeah.